how's it going? My name is James P. White. That is Chris Mooney. This is the Bald and Short of It podcast. Welcome. This is episode number 34. We have a lot going on this week. There's a lot going on between different things in entertainment. The Olympics are in full swing. There's a lot of stuff going on. And, of course, I'm going to do the Olympic mental breakdown, or I said that just for Mooney.
Jimmy's gonna do his weekly metal breakdown.
Yeah, we got a lot going on. We've got we had some experiences this week that were a lot of fun, and on top of that, I got to hang out with Mooney while I was having fun with other people.
Yeah.
But you know what? I want to start this podcast a little bit different than I usually do in the past, because I had something pointed out to me, Mooney, from our last podcast, and I kind of need to, get this out in the open. So last week, we were talking about the fact that I owed you money for for the the whatchamacallit,
You
from the
double
Super
down on
Bowl,
the NFL bets.
double down, and I owed you $50, and you graciously said, "Hey, dude, why don't you keep the $50 and put it towards getting a new mic or something for the podcast, for a better experience." And I shut you down right out the door. As it was pointed out to me, I was a total dick. I didn't realize I was being a total dick. I was told that my um, ego, I was very ego. I was very prideful, and if it came across as that I was being a dick, like I listened to it after I was pointed it out. Yeah, I was full out dick. I do apologize for that. I know you were just trying to, be a nice guy. You've always had my back. You have, and this is kind of
Wow.
this is this is actually a sincere apology. Like I've asked you for help in the past, and you don't even think about it, and you help me, and and so if I did come across as being a dick, it wasn't meant that way. I'm just a proud son of a bitch, and it happens. But I do
Well,
appreciate all that you do for me.
oh, stop it. I didn't pay it any mind. Being a dick to me, I think, is your default mode, so it's more than expected, but it's very kind of you. I have to find um my list of I have to find my list of um things you need to apologize to me for and take that one off, because I think that one's on like page 5 of things you have to apologize to me for.
Are we keeping track? Are we? I I I I'll send you the novel that I have.
Hang on, let me see. Uh, um, Calling me an asshole, rude, prick. Oh, here, prideful. Okay, I have to cross. Okay, there we go. There's only about 100 to go.
All right.
Well, you don't have to, but I appreciate it nonetheless. Thank you.
It was just pointed out to me, and then I looked at it, and yeah,
I think
it is what it is.
I think it's a mark of a good man that possesses the humility to accept feedback gracefully. So anyway, what are you drinking?
Is that on one of our lists? That we do.
I can make one. Maybe I'll make one. I'll do my own. What are you
So
tucking into this week?
so I'm drinking, and so this is just one of my homemade Caesars, and then uh we've talked about this off air, and with we were at, where was it, the Druid, and I was just slamming back the Vizzies, and
You
we
didn't
were
even.
talking
I'm
about,
drinking Tullamore Dew, by the way.
oh, you just waved, and I like you could have
Okay.
said something, but I'm
What do you
just
hang on? What do you put in your Caesars? Like
j-
Michelob.
Clamato, Tabasco, uh, and vodka, some a little bit of lime.
Do you do, like they have the Caesar mix like with the salt, that they use to rim the
I don't do the rimmer. I sometimes put some salt in it, but it's just because I pre-make them and make them in bottles.
right. Well, that's good. That'll keep
Because
you for about 20 minutes. Speaking of drinking fast, you're talking about the Vizzies.
yeah, because but then so you were talking about this before. Again, it was something that you said on the podcast that I kind of ignored, and then we started thinking about it after the fact. Was there are some light beers that are good that are less calories and
Yeah,
but still tastes like a good beer. And Michelob Ultra is probably one of the best of those. And
yeah.
it's only 90 calories, whereas those other things are about, okay, sorry. Um, the other ones are 100 calories. So these are less calories and it's beer. You don't slam it as much as quickly as you do
The Vizzies.
the,
Yeah,
the
the vodka
Vizzies, or at
coolers, whatever
least,
you want to call them.
yeah.
The Michelob Ultra tastes light, but it's a good beer. Um, and yeah, it's 90. Molson does that Ultra too. But another one is
I'm not a Molson.
yeah, I don't drink any of their swill, but I'm just saying. Also, Miller Lite is 90 calories too, and I find that to be a pretty good beer. It's a little more filling than, or it's a little more full bodied than the Michelob Ultra. But both good options if you're in Vegas and you're crushing like 10, 15 beer a day, and not too shabby
I
if
do
you're
that
like
during our podcast. Like,
not too shabby if you're on the girl drink drug train and crushing 20 Vizzies an episode. Hey, I'm losing weight. I'm drinking this vodka drink, like 100 calories. Speaking of which, how's the weight going?
okay, let's do it. Last week it was 43.8.
Last week you were 43.8, but hey, we talked about this on Sunday. What the beginning weight was. For some reason, you don't want to include that. I feel like maybe you don't want to you don't want to admit that you've gained weight since January 1st, despite leading a cleaner
The
life.
first,
You have to include
but
that every week. What the original, like what the target or the rock bottom weight was, the weight, the day you
the thing
realize
is
the day
we've
you
come to
realize I need to cut out fast food, crushing like full bodied beers and getting exercise. What did you weigh the day that you started this
but
crusade of
we
yours?
came to the conclusion that there was something wrong with my scale because it was a
You came to
significant
that
difference.
conclusion. You came to that conclusion.
Actually, no, it was your lovely woman that came to that conclusion. She is a dietitian. She knows or shit
Stuff.
more than we do.
What did you do to the scale from
I
the time
changed the
you
batteries. I changed the batteries between then and now.
okay, and what was the original weight?
131.8.
No. Okay, so when I see 40
131.8.
okay, the
So I
original weight.
gained.
All right, I just wanted to establish that fact. Now, I let's not get off track. Last week you weighed 143.8. What are you at
Yeah,
now?
the 144.8.
Are you sure you cut out the fast food and whatnot?
Yes.
You did.
Yes.
going on? Like, what the fuck?
Don't know.
Wow. So we don't really have anything to report on that front, except that you gained a pound,
Yeah,
and
and get fat shamed by you.
then
Um,
you got off the Vizzies too since then, right?
yeah, I've just been doing beer and the odd vodka drink.
So something's very wrong, Jimmy.
Thanks, Mooney. You're having too much fun with this. You know what? I'm starting to want to, take back my apology. I don't know why. Um, but I can't, I guess.
That's like taking a blade of grass, pulling a blade of grass on your lawn and then putting it back. One apology isn't going to make a dent in the list of offenses
You know,
of which you're guilty.
we got together a couple of times this week. We're gonna get into you being beanstalked in a minute, but there was one
Trademark
thing that took
Mooney.
at Trade Park. Yeah, you got beanstalked, but the you were I can't remember what we were talking about, and you said circling the toilet bowl of loathing and hatred, and and
Uh,
I just turned to you and I just turned to you and I said that is our entire relationship. Like,
like um well, recap. So Sunday, Andrea let me know that she was going out with her best friend or going to her best friend's house, which is fine, but I thought we were going to hang out. Not a big deal. But I was left with an open, um, what is it, date book or calendar or whatever. So we
yeah,
decided that
schedule
we'd go,
book or whatever.
yeah, we decided to go to Julian's, but Julian's isn't open on Sunday, that much to our chagrin. But then they have that bar in the basement of Chateau Louis called the Touch of Class. And that was a lot of fun. But we decided we'd go there, and then we invited friend of the podcast, Johnny. Congratulations, Johnny. He's achieved some significant professional success, and we're very proud of him. But that aside, uh, Johnny and I, Johnny was there first, and then you came, and then we got into it right away, like we usually do. And I said, Johnny didn't come here to watch you and me circling the toilet bowl of loathing and hatred. And then you said, that's our whole relationship. You're not wrong.
Am I wrong? Like,
That was a good one, though. Had me going. That was a fun night,
yeah,
though. That
yeah, it
was
was good.
the longest I ever spent at that place. Um, excuse me. The Touch of Class place. Speaking of which, and this might be a good segue into what you wanted to talk about, but what the fuck with VLTs and like bars and shit? Like I rarely ever play them, but I don't think I've ever come away with any dough. And then you get the little ticket out when you're done a machine, but then you can't even put it into a different machine like you do in Vegas or whatever.
You
And then you got
can
to
in
take
casinos, but you can't in
yeah,
VLTs.
yeah. No, I get it. I'm just saying. And it just man, like it's just so stupid. And then yeah, like I thought, whatever. I put in like $15 and I waved that goodbye in about 2 minutes. And I was betting like, 60 cents a reel. So anyway, not a big fan of bar VLTs. And I don't know, I come away from the River Cree or the other gambling joints we go to, and yeah, I mean you still win a little bit, but it's not like Vegas. I think those
No,
things are wound. I think those machines are at least AGLC or whatever. I think they're tighter than a fiddle string as far as yanking any money out of that stuff. That you put your money in and
sometimes they are.
automatically you put your money in and automatically you just get beanstalked.
Okay, so We've brought up being beanstalked a couple of times. Get into it. I'll let you tell the story.
Okay, well, Jimmy went off to spin some reels while Johnny and I were at the bar talking, and not long thereafter, you came back and you had three of those receipts, those little tickets from the machine, and I was sitting on one side, Johnny was in the middle, and Jimmy, and then you had the tickets. I couldn't see with the number on the tickets, but you said, "All right, Mooney, I'm into you for $50. You can you don't know what's on these three stubs, but you can either take the 50 or you could take whatever
Whatever's on
cash
these subs.
denomination is on each of these three stubs combined." I couldn't see them. And I thought, oh, that sounds kind of fun. And I did honestly believe that you had some nut on like one of them, but it was a little too far away for me to see. And
I
zero
flipped them
still
upside down
zero
so you couldn't.
zero still means zero. And it's only 50 cents, even though it says 0.56. That's not a 10, Mooney. That's not a 50. That's zero. So, anyways, I said, okay, what the fuck? I'll let me do it. So I took the tickets, and you go, are you sure? Are you sure? And when guys do that, like when you're playing poker or whatever, that could go either way. I mean, they might be trying to dissuade you because there's more money there than they want to part with. Or like maybe in your and plus you're not kind, caring, or considerate towards me anyway, or protective. So when you go, are you sure? I didn't think that you were doing it out of my best interest. So I said, no, let's do this. So I get the three stubs.
50
First one,
cents, 50
first
cents,
one,
50 cents.
first one says 50. Second. So I said, you
So,
beanstalked me.
so, so you lost $50 for $1.50.
I don't even mind. I mean, you lost, I don't know how much you gambled, but you lost all that money too. So, you know,
Yeah.
the only shitty thing is that the AGLC took it, not or then the bar took it, not me, someone that or whatever. But hey, I don't mind. It was funny. But yeah, I think I coined a phrase when I said you beanstalked me.
Yeah. And then you came with the whole explanation about the beanstalk and the beans and the
So I knew we would talk about it today. So I went on AI, and like my understanding of the Jack and the Beanstalk story is um like it's more my takeaway from that story is Jack was given money to what was it, buy some milk or something. In the traditional version, Jack is uh he disobeys his
giving
mother
it.
to sell the cow for money. So
Yes.
he sold the cow for magic beans with zero evidence they'll do anything useful. So that's my takeaway from that story. I basically forgot about the whole giant and chopping it down and then coming away like doing pretty well for himself. That's just fucking luck. Because at the end of the day, you have a fundamental character flaw. You got to sell that cow, get money to keep the family going, and you're like Jimmy at so many VLTs. You traded in for some fucking shitty beans. But anyway, I asked Grok, who's the villain in the Jack and the Beanstalk story, and it says in the classic Jack and the Beanstalk fairy tale, the villain is the giant, most commonly known simply as a giant, sometimes referred to as fee fi fo fum giant. He's enormous, man eating, blah blah blah. He chases Jack down the beanstalk with murderous intent. Then again, what business does Jack have like fucking with his world? Like anyway, modern retellings occasionally make the giant more sympathetic or portray him as a victim of theft in the traditional and most widely known versions. Joseph Jacobs wrote that in 1807, by the way. The giant is unambiguously the antagonist, the villain. So then I said, I replied back to Grok, doesn't Jack bear some responsibility for his decisions? And so Grok
You,
was, yes, Jack absolutely bears significant responsibility for his decision in the classic story. And modern realtors often point this out readers often point this out quite sharply. Yeah, Jack is portrayed as a plucky hero who triumphs through cleverness and bravery. But if we apply basic ethics to his actions, step by step, he makes a series of deliberate, questionable choices. Disobeys mother's clear instruction to sell the cow, impulsively trades it for magic beans, already reckless and irresponsible, risking his family's last asset. Climbs the beanstalk out of curiosity slash greed. Greed is probably the fundamental. And then trespasses into the giant's home repeatedly. If you come to my house, I might come after you with murderous intent too. Why am I an asshole? So yeah, he steals multiple times gold and hen that lays the golden egg, the singing harp, taking property that isn't his, even while hiding from and deceiving the giant's wife, who actually protects him. Yeah. Yeah, he shows no remorse, no attempt to negotiate or return anything, and the story ends with him and his mother living richly ever after. Like, what a shitty. I'm glad I never told my kids that story because it's like, hey, roll the dice. Maybe you'll get a fucking goose that lays a golden egg. Maybe you'll betray the ladies that protect you. Like, oh my God. Yeah, not a big fan. Some view Jack as a colonialist figure, an intruder who enters another's domain, exports, loots resources, kills the native inhabitant, and claims it all as his reward. Yeah, and then last point I'll make is others see him as driven by greed or desperation, poverty, hunger, but still responsible. Stealing isn't automatically justified just because you're poor. So yes, Jack isn't just a passive victim of circumstance. He actively chooses risky, unethical paths at almost every turn, and the fairy tale's happy ending glosses over that moral gray area. So I thought it was funny. I had to ask twice, doesn't Jack bear some responsibility? But again, you owed me $50 and I got beanstalked. I took the magic fucking lottery tickets and
and got $1.50 out of it and gave it to our bartender as a tip.
yeah, among other money, but yeah. Anyway, that's a new word. That's definitely beanstalked. I got beanstalked, and I, to my credit, okay, I'm not here to toot my own horn or anything, but I completely accepted the circumstances. I acquiesced immediately to my role as Jack in the in, in the play. So good for you, anyways. Here's to Jimmy. He's got class. Here's to Jimmy. He's a horse's ass.
There's something that we kind of danced around from this week. Like again, we've had a lot going on, but kind of one other thing that we did this week, like since our last podcast, was your kid's birthday
Yep.
on that was Friday, and I kind of realized at that event that we bust each other's balls left, right, and frickin' center, but we are like, you are part of my Edmonton family. Like, I have two families. I have my family that live in Tabor, where I see them once or twice a year, and then I have my Edmonton family. Some of my friends here, my cousin Angela, who I spent a lot of time with because her mom and my dad were really close, and we kind of look after each other. And at the we were at Kelly. No, we were not at Kelly's. We were at Sherbrooke Pub, and your family was there. I got to meet your sisters, meet your mom. I knew some of your other family members, but it
Well,
was
you knew my
actually really
sisters
cool.
too. You already
Uh,
knew my.
we I No, we never, because we were talking, and we they saw me, but we never really met.
You know Colette and Diener. Well, you know Diener better than Colette. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Fair
I
enough.
know Diener. I saw Colette for the first, like, in person for the first time
Yeah.
at that I remember there. But yeah, your family is awesome, and your kids are so fantastic. You know, they're awesome. I it was funny. It was their birthday, and I bought them a shot. And first thing that your daughter says to me, she goes, "Are we doing a mixed shot or like a straight shot?" I'm like, "Straight shot." And then she just goes right in tequila, and I'm like, "I'm proud of you. That's fantastic." And but like she wanted to do some kind of girly shot, and I'm like, "No, we're doing a straight."
Yeah.
And but then as soon as I said straight shot, tequila, and I'm like, yes, like,
That was a fun night. Um,
yeah,
but yeah, you never met my mom before, so that was good. I'm glad
no,
that you guys got a chance to chat.
yeah, like
But
I've met some of your others, but
yeah, yeah, that was a lot of fun, and yeah, it's great when we can get everybody. Davney was there too. She's a great singer, huh?
oh yeah, she did great with the
Yeah,
karaoke.
yeah. Maybe we'll have her back in a couple weeks. Her radio show's doing great. Another episode tomorrow from 6 to 8 on nr92.com. Nate Radio, Turntable Rebellion. She's really finding her stride there too. It's a good show.
Yeah, yes.
But yeah, like
No,
there was
speak.
lots of guys. There was lots of guys from the fraternity there. I mean, that was one of those nights where so many people that you know are there that you feel bad at the end of the night that you didn't get a chance to spend as much time with everybody that you'd like. But if you did, you'd be there till 6 in the morning. So now it was a great
Yeah,
night. Thanks for coming.
yeah, it was good. Here's to another year.
Yeah, yeah. It's actually the kids technically their birthday today. So happy birthday, kids. Kieran and Caitlin, happy birthday.
Are you going to see them later on, or
No, not today. They got stuff going on.
yeah, they're
But
good kids.
we got the most out of Friday, that's for sure. That was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, and like there was a lot of karaoke in, and yeah, it was a good night.
That was
Sherbrooke is a great place to hang.
yeah. I got to tell you, I won't not go back to touch a class at Chateau Louis too. Nice little backup to Julian's, and literally they're like a 30-second walk away from each other, but just two completely different bars, eh? Like one's
Yeah,
just
like
like in
it's
the basement, no windows, mirrors stacked with VLTs. The other one's got a big piano and plush and nice carpet and
yeah,
like an aquarium and shit.
yeah.
But
Oh,
yeah,
but they're both great atmosphere, good
yeah,
people.
because I missed Julian's on. We missed it on Sunday because it was closed. I think I should go back there on Friday because now I miss it.
Yeah. Okay, so now we kind of went through our week.
Hang on,
Let's.
what's going on with your salad today? Like, holy cow! Did you just get up?
I I don't have to. I don't.
Jesus,
This is, dude.
fucking flock of
I,
seagulls
I
over there.
hey, it happens when you have hair and you don't feel like brushing it. It happens. You know, again, those who don't have hair shouldn't cast stones.
Um, by the way, speaking of the midgetry, don't go outside. There's a lot of snow that fell.
I noticed. I looked.
Yeah, you'd be up to your neck.
No, right now it's probably to my knees.
Yeah, it's about knee high for you, I reckon. Yeah. What else you got there, Slick? Flock of seagulls.
Uh, Now that was the bald and short of it, ladies and gentlemen. Um, okay, so
Last week you were
speaking
Morrissey. This week you're flock of seagulls. You got quite the salad
speaking
going
of
on there, buddy.
circling the toilet bowl with loathe and hatred. Uh, I'm starting to both hate and loathe you. Um, so Olympics. So let's do you have something written here. You like the Olympics, but
Oh yeah. I'm sorry, but I don't I absolutely loathe Ron McLean. I fucking despise him after what he did to Don Cherry. Just like a total like empty suit yes man, jerk off. And then they got him hosting some of the Olympic stuff. Like we just come off a long weekend, so I definitely put my time in on the Olympics, and I'll get to that quickly. But and then you have Perdita Feliciano on with him, and she's not a broadcaster. I know she won medals in the summer games for I think she was and maybe she didn't. I think she might have fallen doing the hurdles. I could be wrong. You can look it up independently, but she's never on TV except for once every 2 or 4 years for the Olympics. And now she's hosting with Ron McLean. Like you can tell you're not dealing with a polished broadcaster. And I wonder like why she's on. Like um I and again I think I mentioned it last week in terms of production value and like quality. I mean, like let's face it, we're not there to watch the hosts, and it's not like they really add a lot to the whole Olympic experience, but they do guide you through the games, in between sports or whatever. And if you want polish, go to the NBC broadcast because I mean they tell the stories, you get to know the athletes, and you feel like way more of a stakeholder. And then you got like empty suit Ron Jerkoff fucking McLean, and then another lady who's I'm sure delightful, but just not a broadcaster. And you're like, why are these people here? But I'm done being negative. As far as the Olympics go, um, well, a lot's happened in the last week. I won't go over all of it. I'll just tell you what I've been doing. I mean, I really benefited from the long weekend. Watching like you can't watch it all, and I mean, I'm not. We watched a bit of um, the ski, the one where the girl won the gold in the skiing acrobat shit. That was really cool. Um, and but mostly I've been watching curling and hockey, and obviously, like we know where Team Canada is. There's a lot more clarity as far as what's going on with Team Canada. So on Wednesday, February 18th at 8:40 a.m. Mountain Time, Canada is playing Czechia, who beat Denmark. Was it Denmark? Yeah, yeah, they beat Denmark today, 3-2, and they'll be playing Canada at 8:40. Now we've already played Czechia once. That'll be the quarterfinals. We've already played Czechia once. That was our first game of the tournament. We beat them 5-0. Presuming we get past them, we'll be in the semis. The other team that I watch is Germany because it's Leon Dreisaitl's team, and we actually have two Oilers on Team Germany, Leon and Josh Szymanski. They didn't have a good go of it in the round robin play or the group play because they lost to Estonia, Estonia is usually a bit of a disruptor, but I had them. They're a better team than Estonia, but they got beat by Estonia 4-3, and then they weren't going to get past the U.S. So they had to play in, not wait for a quarterfinal berth, and they did just that today against France. They beat France 5-1. Leon got 3 points, 1 goal, 2 assists, and our boy Josh Szymanski got a goal. So they will be playing Slovakia tomorrow in the quarterfinals. So I said from the beginning, for a country like Germany, who's really starting to get their legs um, in the hockey realm, I guess, or as a team. And I mean, it doesn't hurt having Leon, but they've got some pretty good NHLers on that team now, like Mo Sider and that kid from Ottawa, Josh Szymanski, JJ Paterka from Utah. And anyway, they made it to the quarterfinals, which in my opinion is a victory for the German program. And I wouldn't put it past them at all if they beat Slovakia tomorrow. Now, another interesting wrinkle for that is that if they beat Slovakia, they will be playing Canada in the semis. And wouldn't that be something seeing Connor and Leon
playing
facing
against
off?
each other.
Yeah, yeah. I've been cheering for Germany this whole time, and I sure hope they beat Slovakia anyway. But what a treat it would be to see them play Canada. Um, Canada is playing again, like I said, in the quarters tomorrow against Czechia. You'd be foolish to bet against them, but I don't want to count my chickens. And that's where we're at
Because
with
the last
hockey.
game that played against Czechia, they beat them like 5-1 or something.
5-0. I already mentioned that. You don't even listen to me when we're doing the show,
I
do you?
actually don't. No,
Yeah.
not when you start. Not when you start
So,
talking sports.
and the list of things you got to apologize for. I'll add that. Yeah.
And I'll
So,
add to my list, talks too much and about sports.
okay. The last thing I'll mention, like Canada's gotten a little bit better with the medals. I'll let you do your medal breakdown. Jimmy's gonna have his medal breakdown in mere minutes. I can tell already, but we've done well in the speed skating, the team speed skating, and yeah. So I've been watching mostly curling this weekend, and Team Canada, the men's team, they beat Great Britain just before we got on here, and automatically qualify for the playoffs. I think it's the semis. I think the curling, they play, all the teams play each other and then they go to semifinals. Canada's qualified. They beat 9-5. They beat the UK and they're 5-1. Now the Canadian women were in a bit of trouble 3 days ago. Their record was actually 1-3, but they've since turned it around and I think now they're at like 5-3. Um, they beat the unbeaten Sweden today. So curling is about to ramp up a lot. Canada controls its own destiny in both the men's and women's. And a friend of the podcast, Mike Bayrak, asked me when the Olympics started, like, what's your favorite sport, but besides hockey? And I had to tell you, I love the curling, man. I'm just locked in, and I'm cheering for both the men's and women's teams, and looking forward to watching more of those games, especially as they get more exciting. That's my recap of what I've been doing during the Olympics.
Okay. Before I get into the Olympic medal count, um, I want to ask you. I
The
want
what
to
now?
ask you a question.
Is that where you have the medal breakdown?
No, where I count all the medals. Um,
When you do the medal breakdown,
I know where I'm counting the
you're
medals.
having the medal
It's
breakdown.
called a medal count.
Medal breakdown.
Okay, so before I do that, so I need to ask you a question because we've talked about this a couple of times, and let me ask you, you're a fan of the Olympics, okay? And you kind of touched on it in the prep. Actually, no, why don't I'll make that the next thing because this is going to veer us off into a totally different direction. I'll do the
Okay.
medal breakdown just for you.
Are you
Um,
going to have your medal breakdown now?
I'll do the medal breakdown right now.
You'll have the medal breakdown now.
Are we going to do this or not? Uh,
I
okay,
just love
so
saying it.
the
What do you want from me?
the the okay, so the top
Drum roll,
four
please.
the top four for the medal count is this. Norway is number one with 31 medals. They have 14 gold, 8 silver, 9 bronze. Italy
What a great
has
split. What a great split too, eh?
yeah,
Like
and
just crushing it.
Italy is has 24, 9 gold, 4 silver, 11 bronze. US has 21 medals at third place, and they are 6 gold, 10 silver, and 5 bronze. Netherlands is 13, 6 and 1. And then Canada, we're number 11th right now with a total of 12 medals, 3 gold, 4 silver, and 5 bronze.
So, couple interesting things there. First is like I wish we does it say how many athletes each country has? Because like just based on population alone, Norway's medal count's astounding. Like if you looked at their population, if you took every country's population and divided it by the total medal count, I bet Norway's number would be huge compared to all the other countries.
Possibly.
And also like the number of athletes. I mean, I think it's probably somewhat correlated because, I mean, obviously, the smaller your population, the less athletes you send. But I bet Norway's numbers are like astronomical
Yeah,
relative to other countries, and good for them, by the way. Like,
but
do you have that? Are
they
you
oh
looking? I'm waiting
I'm,
here.
I'm
Like, I'm
I
waiting.
can't. Yeah, you can lick my ass too. It's not giving me the number of athletes per.
Christ. When I
Here, hold
watched
on.
when I watched the opening,
Norway has 80 athletes. U.S.
80
has 200. U.S. has 232.
how many does Italy have?
Don't know.
Okay, well, they have more than Norway for sure. But Norway's got 80 athletes and how many medals? 26?
Uh, Something like that.
That's
20.
crazy, man.
They have 31.
31 medals and 80 athletes. That is
Yes.
astounding. Good for them. Now, the other thing that's interesting that I wanted to touch on, and I don't think that this is necessarily a one-off. I think that host countries typically invest more in their athletes because they're on home soil and they want to showcase them for the fans and win as many medals and all that crap. But um, I'd be surprised if Italy was second in any other Winter Olympics. But again, and that's always a nice little as one of the people watching on TV. If Canada's not in it or if Canada's not competing, my default is like typically Italy because you love to see people win it on their home soil, with all the fans and friends and family and all that there. So good for them.
Okay, so I can give you a total breakdown of every country and their athletes, or ish. Okay, we got U.S. has 236. We're the next highest at 211. Italy has 196. Germany has 184. Switzerland has 175.
Wow.
France 156. China at 126. Austria at 120. Japan at 196, and Czech
Okay,
Republic.
you don't have to go through all of them because I mean some of those countries I saw in the opening ceremonies only had like one or two athletes or whatever. But like in light of all of these numbers, again, Norway 80 athletes, 30 medals. Come on. Like
Yeah,
here's to Norway. Cheers Norway. Fuck. To Norway.
but they are a winter sport kind of country. They're
Well, yeah, no shit, but still lots of other countries that neighbor them, lots of Scandinavian countries have just as much snow and whatnot. But anyway, I think that's awesome. Good for them.
okay. So, anything else you want to say about the Olympics before we move on?
Not for now. I'm looking forward to Canada playing tomorrow, and there's more curling ahead. I'm not sure the schedule yet, but I can verify with certainty that Canada plays tomorrow at 8:40 a.m.
Yeah.
Do you wanna go
Are you
watch that?
going?
Yeah, why not?
I was. Yes. And now that I found out I'm not dog sitting, yes, I will.
How's the dog, by the way?
I'll get into that in a little bit because I
Okay,
would.
okay.
Yes, but
Sorry, just
um,
for in the interest of being transparent, Jimmy and I were going to do the cast yesterday, but Jimmy's
had
um,
it's a family emergency, and it
family
was my.
family canine issue. So are you done having your metal breakdown or
Yeah, the mental my mental breakdown will be later. I like to do that off air, but the mental breakdown is done. Um,
like looking at your hair? It looks like it already happened. Flock of seagulls.
uh, I wonder why I drink. But yes, let's get into we did the Olympics. What else were we gonna go? We talked about you being beanstalked, and I'm kind of proud of that.
Yeah, you sold it. You definitely sold it. So good for you. But I
And
like
you
to
know
I
what?
like to I like to look at it like like we both lost. But you had more fun losing because you were gonna lose 50
Yes,
anyway. At least you got to
yeah,
plow it into a machine and not just hand it over to me with my smug ass grin.
yes. Let's get into okay. When I look at something like this, what I'm about to get into, which drives me absolutely insane. Uh, I'm contemplating. I'm kind of on both ends of the should Alberta separate or not kind of boat here. I'm
Yep.
on both sides
Hmm.
because because the amount of taxes that we get from our federal freaking government on everything,
Yep.
and it drives me insane, especially with the way that they tax alcohol. Because here's the thing that I don't understand. Each province controls the alcohol. Like it's an Alberta government program that runs it. We have the AGLC, the LCBO, the Saskatchewan Liquor
Yep.
organizations. So why the hell do they have to tax our fucking booze all the time? Hey, we need more money. Let's tax booze. Like you're hurting us alcoholics, and it's just and destroying destroying the economy of the world when you start taxing more booze. It drives me insane. As of April 1st, there's going to be another fucking tax hike. Sorry, watch my language. Um, it 2% federal on
Jesus.
beer, wine, and spirits.
Yeah. So
Hey,
that's pretty much
yeah,
all alcohol. And
yeah.
and you know what? Go ahead. Did you have more you wanted to?
No, I'm just gonna keep just bitching about it. It's just I can't. I'm gonna
This
kill
is
somebody.
first of all, um, Canada's broke. Like, there's no two ways about it. Our credit rating is going to be downgraded. They just came out with the monthly food inflation numbers. And for February or January, whatever the most recent numbers are, it's 7.2% food inflation in 1 month. Okay. And this is just after this GST rebate. Anytime they give you a tax rebate, all that is a promise that we're going to drop a few pennies that we've stolen from you back into your pocket. It's all bullshit. And
Yeah,
I think that we're probably I mean it's arguable, but in like Western democratic countries, we're probably the highest taxed. Everyone goes, "Oh, well, but our income tax is only X." Yeah, but we pay 5% on everything in GST. We pay a carbon tax, whether directly or indirectly. Every fucking thing we do is taxed. You buy liquor, you get taxed. I mean,
you buy
it's
smokes.
you buy
You
gas, you
buy
get taxed. They got
you buy cigarettes. There's most of
yeah,
the cost of cigarettes is tax.
yeah.
Like
And the thing about the sin tax, which is the worst, is that there's really no excuse. There's no moral high ground when you tax our income, except if you want to make the case that, oh, well, you keep the lights on in the country or whatever. Well, ask Albertans who are who annually uh, um, have a net outgoing amount of $40 billion to Ottawa. That includes the money we've given them and includes the money they've given back. I think it's 47 billion that we will have to play with. And I mean that, I don't mean that seriously, but 40 million that, can you imagine 40 billion? Can you imagine like how much more our taxes will go down when we're not supporting the rest of Canada? And I don't want to get into the whole separatist thing, but the sin taxes are the worst because they go, well, don't drink. Well, don't smoke. And it's like, I lost my fucking job because your government, because your government policies, your government scares away investors. what else am I gonna do? I'm gonna drink now. Now I gotta pay 2% more, like a slap in the face after I lost my job because But the sin taxes are the worst because somehow they feel like, uh, the payee or the payer has some responsibility for that. You don't want to pay 2%, drink less or don't drink, kind of thing, which is all just fucking flawed, shitty, stupid logic. And it's insulting
but
to
the
the
thing is,
taxpayer. It's insulting to Canadians and it's insulting to Albertans.
But the thing is, though, is if people stopped drinking because of the increase of tax, then guess what? Next year they're going to tax something different. They're going to start taxing your food. They're going to start taxing because they want the money. So if you stop
Yep.
drinking, they're going to find something else to tax.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah. And, like the gas tax will go up and they'll say, we'll drive less, which they're already doing. I mean, fuck, like,
and then, and, and like the bus, and like the cost of taking the bus goes up twice every year,
yeah,
like only like 25 cents or
I'm
whatever.
sure that somewhere on the internet you can find like a can of beer, a pack of smokes, and a tank of gas, and just put a number to it. Let's say $20 for the smokes, $5 for the beer, and $50 for the gas, and say out of that amount how much goes to the government. Now here's another thing to think about when you think about things from that perspective. So for the sake of dollars, let's say a fella makes 100 grand a year and the government automatically keeps roughly 40 grand of that just in income tax. Okay. So now the money that the 100 grand that you're supposed to have is only 60 grand now. But then you buy a tank of gas and the government takes probably 20% of that. So this is the 60 grand that's already been taxed. You're using that to buy a product that's also getting taxed. Or you buy a stereo, it's 5% right off the top, goes to the government. Or you buy a pack of smokes, it's like I bet out of that $20, at least 8 goes to the government. So this is already taxed money. This money has already been through the government ringer. Your 100 grand's already been taxed, but now you're getting taxed again. Then you get your energy bill, and there isn't a direct carbon tax anymore. They want you to thank them for that, but the company that creates the gas that heats your home is paying an industrial carbon tax that they pass on to you. So either way you look at it, you're getting fucking taxed. You imagine how much more money we all would have if the government fucking took their hand out of our pocket? Like, it's mind blowing. And frankly, if you're talking of getting back to what you originally said, you're talking about uh, the the Alberta independence proposition. I highly recommend you go to the albertaprosperityproject.com and look up the document Value of Freedom. They've they've solicited the input of like world-class economists and they've done the numbers, and it not only does it make like abundant sense, but it's like you feel stupid if you didn't support it after reading that document. It's only about 40 pages. That includes indices and the chapter pages and all that shit. So highly recommend people look that up. Did you want to add anything else on that topic, Jimmy?
No, I'm pretty good with that. Like the thing is, the constant taxing, and they tax our essentials. They tax like even local. They're like, hey, we want you to take transit more, but it's going to go up in price though, because we need the more money because we're making everybody take more transits. So therefore we need to spend more money. So therefore we need to charge you more. So it's,
Yeah, and here's another thing too. Like, think about this for a minute, folks. I'm telling you, like I said, for the sake of easy math, the 60 grand at the end of the year out of the 100 grand that you earn that you actually get to keep in your pocket is constantly being taxed on top of the 40 grand they already took off the top of the 100 that you earned. So you have a Netflix subscription, they charge them because they're like the Canadian content thing. There's a charge for that. Um, you buy um, electronics. There's a disposal tax. Tires is a tax. Every fucking thing you do is being taxed on top of the money that you have in your pocket that's already been through the tax ringer. It is literally mind blowing. And you know the worst part is that Canada has the worst performing like GDP um, in like all of the G7 countries, and it's like worse than that. We're one of the poorest performing countries economically in the developed world, and that's on top of all the money they're already taken from us. So, and by the way, we're going to be running over $70 billion in a deficit this year. That's the projection. So, of all this money that you're taking out of our pockets, and all the money that you're offshoring to Ukraine, and like the list goes on. I mean, like they're talking about gender under like all the shit that they offshore, which by the way never goes to where it's supposed to go. It goes in someone else's pocket. I mean, how on earth can you have a 70 odd billion-dollar deficit after taking like more than half of the money that each of us fucking earn? Boggles the
Yeah,
mind.
totally blows the mind. Um,
And go ahead.
no,
Okay,
do your thing.
on a positive note, I have put in to be a canvasser for the petition for separation. I feel like this is the most important vote I'll ever take in my life, and actually the most direct democracy vote that I'll ever take in my life because, like our federal elections, it's decided before the count hits Manitoba. Usually, we know who's going to be prime minister before they even count our votes. Here, it's one man, one vote. When we talk about the referendum that's inevitable as long as these petitions come across. They've already got 7,500 canvassers. They haven't added my name yet, but I've done all the work. I'm just waiting for my badge. I'm going to be collecting signatures, so stay tuned and reach out to me if you're listening and you're interested in signing. I should have it by the end of the week, and I'm looking forward to doing my part to ensure a better future for my kids and for us.
Good on you, man.
Thanks. I would
Because,
feel I would feel
but
I would feel completely shitty if I didn't do anything. Even if it doesn't
the,
go through, even if shit doesn't work out and it's, like
the,
51-49 or whatever, the last thing I would want would be to ask myself after, we're trapped here, uh, what if I had what if I'd have done more? Well, I'm not gonna have to answer that question because I'm gonna do everything I can to help the cause and to push this thing forward so that we can all do a little bit better for ourselves and each other.
But but what I mean for good on you is kind of like what you were touching on there is not only are you talking the talk and going, hey, I believe that we should do it. You're actually more than just, filling out the petition. You're actually doing something, putting the rubber to the road and
Yeah.
getting out there and telling people. You're gonna have some people tell you off, you know,
Oh,
warning.
sure, and that's
Uh,
fine.
yeah, like and you're gonna have some people that disagree, but I do respect the fact that you're not just saying, I think this should be done. You're actually getting out there and doing something. Good on you. I'm
Yeah, and like I
quite
said,
impressed.
I appreciate that. Wow, I got an apology and a compliment. Holy cow! Um, there, like I said, I appreciate the sentiment, Jimmy. But honestly, this is one of those times where I um, you don't want to have any regrets. So even if the outcome isn't something that's like sports or anything else, like um, losing is never awesome. Losing always sucks, but um, it hurts a little less when you know that you did absolutely every fucking thing you could to make sure that you got a positive result. So I would hate to think that I could have done more and we didn't get the result we wanted. So that's how I look at it anyway.
You know, still impressive. And Now I'm going to get into something a little bit different. Where we just finished talking about someone going out and actually trying to do something.
Oh, by
Um,
the way, I am getting your fucking signature. Like, it doesn't mean that you're voting to separate. All it means is you're voting to have the petition or to have the referendum.
100% I am, and I'm signing it.
Good.
By
Well,
the time you start canvassing, I'll probably move, but um, like I'll be living in a dumpster down by the river. Uh,
yeah. Like, my overtaxed, like that last case of beer put me over the top.
I'm, I, I'm not living in a van down by the river. I'm living in a dumpster down by the river. Um, but but when we talk about trying to make a difference and getting out and doing something, we've talked about this for the last, and I hope you're ready for this. I've been talking about this for the last couple weeks, or actually several weeks. On February 25th, which is a week from this Wednesday, is Pink Shirt Day. And every year I do a live stream and which is on Zoom. So you can get the link on my social media. You can contact me through the podcast and I can send you a link to the day of. It's actually running on the Wednesday from 2 p.m. till 3 p.m. I have a great group of people on. I have my friend Naomi, who's been my MC for the last couple years. She has an awesome podcast. It's called the Dope Nostalgia Podcast, in which she talks about '90s music. She's big in the boy bands, but she's my MC. I have I have someone from the Zebra Center, and she's actually going to be talking about how to uh, get help when you're being bullied and stuff like that. And then I have a friend of mine from my previous radio show. His name's Will. He lives in Saskatchewan. He's also going to be on this thing, and I'm excited. It's talking about bullying. I it's it's kind of cool. It's something that I'm really excited about, passionate about every year. And you and I talked about this on the weekend. As I said, I hope you're ready. You said you wanted to kind of do like an interview-ish kind of scenario talking about it. Are you ready for that?
Yeah, I mean, it's just two friends talking, but uh, I think we've had enough patting on the back this episode. We can do it next week. But there's some traits that you possess that I'm in awe of, frankly, and admirable of, and just wanted to get a little more background on that. So stay tuned for next episode, and we'll delve into that. I think if that's all right with you, Jimmy.
Oh, just before it?
Because
Okay.
we'll be doing it on two. Oh yeah, we'll figure it out.
We'll be doing it on Tuesday, but it won't go out till late Wednesday. And I'm doing it Wednesday.
Okay, well we can talk about it, but just for clarity's sake, I know you say Pink Shirt Day, and you mentioned like it's basically like kind of an anti-bullying initiative is what we're talking about here, right?
Yeah.
And and more importantly, um, it's not a bunch of people sitting around going, "Don't you hate being bullied?" Yeah, I sure do. It's more talking about strategies and approaches and things that we can all do to mitigate the impact of that kind of thing, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's a bit of everything. People telling stories. I've gone into schools and have kids ask questions. Uh, Pink Shirt Day itself actually originated back in 2007. It was in Berwick, Nova Scotia. So what it was is there was a couple of boys who stood up for a grade 9 student who was being bullied because he wore a pink shirt. And so they stood up and they bought 50 shirts to 50 pink shirts and gave it to a bunch of the student body to in solidarity to support the kid in grade 9 who's being bullied. So the
For
whole
wearing a pink shirt,
yes, he was
and he was
because
wearing it
he
on account of his mom's cancer, right, or something like that.
something like that. He no, he just wore it was just he just wore a pink shirt on his first day of school, and it was a polo shirt, and they were calling him names, saying he was gay or a girl or whatever, because he was wearing pink.
Wait, was he a
And
nerd though?
these
That changes everything.
No, it doesn't. But
Just kidding.
see, that's why you are not joining me on Pink Shirt Day. Um, so yeah, two grade 12 students stood up and bought a bunch of pink shirts and distributed it to the rest of the school to support the kid that was being bullied. And it's ever since then, schools across Canada have been doing something on on Pink Shirt Day, which is the last Wednesday of every month, to bring awareness to bullying, not just going, woe is me. It's people telling stories of them being bullied and how they made it through it. It's people, it's police coming in and sometimes going to schools and saying, okay, bullying is a crime, and you could get in trouble for doing it. It's a number of different ways that people support it. I sometimes go to schools, and I found I can reach more people online doing like a Zoom scenario. And like, for those who don't know my story, I was bullied extensively as a kid. I was beat up to the point of being put in the hospital. I like name calling. I was stuffed in garbage cans, like those Rubbermaid garbage cans, and rolled down a flight of stairs. I had many situations of being bullied. Um, some I haven't even like to this day, 35 years later, there's a couple of things that happened to me that I never even told my mom. Because it was like, one thing you have to learn, and you probably know this as a parent, Chris, is when your kids are hurting, when people are bullying your kids, or doing something that's hurting them, it hurts you too.
Yep.
And
Yep.
and like, I was going through bullying, but my parents went through it too, and they were with me for every step of the freaking way. Like, when I got beat up to the point of being put in the hospital, my dad went to the principal at my school and almost got into a fist fight with the guy.
Yep.
Um, and I think part of why he almost punched the guy in the head was he goes, well, he's kind of lippy, he kind of deserves it. Um,
How nuts is that?
like, okay,
I
if
I I
okay, let
I
me
I,
ask you a question, and then you can give your statement. So if one of your kids came to you and said, "Hey, I got beat up or I got hurt at school because I was being bullied," and you went into the principal and they said, "Well, you know, they're lippy. They kind of deserved it." Um, you wouldn't be happy with that answer.
I would tell them that they have 5 seconds to take that background coming across that desk to wipe that grin off your face.
So,
Like, and I would mean I don't say shit like that hollowly. Like, I would fucking mean it, and like I don't go, if you don't do this, I'm gonna do this. I fucking mean it. If I say it, I mean it. So you have 5 seconds
man,
to take that background coming across that desk. Like, period. And you know what? Sorry, go on. I'll let you.
no, do your thing, dude. Like, I was just
So
gonna
the
elaborate.
Zebra Center, like maybe just like I know we talked a little bit about it last week, but you're working with them on this. And by the way, folks, it's Wednesday the 25th
Yes,
at from 2 to
it's
3. And if you want the link, reach out to Jimmy or go to his Facebook page. And you know what? Put some time in. Even if you're
it
working, it's not
runs
in the
it it
background.
it it runs an hour. It's not very long. It's not a huge, because I try to keep it within an hour,
Yep.
because I'm trying to get schools in, and they have 1 hour class, the class spots. So I try to keep it like under an hour,
Yep.
and it's very important to me. I've had some really good guests in the past. The Zebra Center is fantastic. Like what the Zebra Center does is a child advocacy group, and the person that I have on that's going to be talking about it, she is going to be talking about how like all the barriers there is to try to find help. Some of the barriers is, you know, I'm I'm too proud to ask for help. Don't be too proud. Like you need to ask for help. And if you're afraid of going to your teachers that it might, make things worse, there is somebody. Like you can go to your
Yep.
school counselor, your parents. You can go to groups like the Zebra Center, and she's going to be talking about that. And I'm so excited. It's like the Zebra Center. This is the second year I've been dealing with them, and so they deal with children and youth, and they have like it's a good group, and it's really great people that I've worked with in the past, and I'm excited, and they're excited to get on board, and it's gonna be pretty pretty intense. But it's not it's not one of these things where it's just all, horrible stories and,
Yeah.
all negative. There's We always come with positive actions that people can take, both as being bullied, as well as, the one bullying, or even the bystanders that are sitting there and watching it. Because there's three parties in bullying. There is the one who's bullied, the bully, and the people that sit and watch. And they call it the bully, the bullied, and the bystander. And sometimes, if you really think about it, if the bystanders didn't watch it, if they didn't laugh, if they didn't, just sit and take it, we could get rid of it, because there's more bystanders than there is bullies. It's there's and
You make a good point about um like the purpose behind you and the zebra folks doing this zebra center, that we're not doing a kumbaya woe is me fucking circle here. What we're doing is we're talking about experiences we've had, sharing how the tools that we've used to overcome them, and that the net result is like a positive approach to a shitty problem. And uh and so yeah, I'm looking forward to tuning in. But the other thing is, um the bystander. I can't tell you how much I fucking hate that so much. I have never in my life been a quote unquote bystander. If I see something wrong happening, I'm gonna say something always. You ask anybody that knows me, I'm gonna fucking say something. And I'm not saying that to pat myself in the back. I'm just saying that because it's like a moral requirement. If you want to be a good person, like you got to make sure that you stand up for what you believe in. And and one of the fundamental things we ought to all believe in is like treat people with respect, apply the golden rule, treat people how you'd like to be treated. And if you and how I'd like to be treated is that if somebody's coming after me or if they got me turtled and they're kicking me in the ribs or something, um, how I'd like to be treated is that if someone was watching that, they would come and bail me out,
but
and I want to be that guy, and I always have been that guy. And like if we see videos now because everybody's got a camera, like shit that like just horrendous shit that happens, like particularly in Europe, but all over. I mean, there's a video of a lady getting stabbed on a train. Arena, I can't remember her name, but and that's a goddamn shame, and I feel crappy about it. Zelenskaya, Arena Zelenskaya in Ohio. Um, and there's a video of a guy stabbing her on the train. And I'm like, obviously, my ire is most directed towards the guy with the knife. But a close second is the motherfucker that had the camera. Who's filming that? It might have been an overhead on the train, so don't get me wrong, but there's
It
countless.
could have it could have been the
Yeah.
security
Okay. So
camera or
maybe not necessarily in that case, but there are countless examples of cases where you see crazy shit happening, and it's like somebody's filming that, and I'm like, you got a fucking camera, your phone in your hand, while this abhorrent behavior is occurring or this violence against someone else is occurring. Shame on you. Why don't you do something? I mean, like, frankly, I'd rather get cut trying to do something than hide or be a quote unquote bystander because I'm afraid of something happening to me. Because whatever might happen to you is nothing compared to what they're inflicting on the poor soul that they've come after. So I mean, that's
but
just me.
or
I'm speaking personally. Sorry.
no, but dude, I do agree with you on that one. But even if you are afraid to stand and be there, get help. Call 911. Go and go find someone. Like if you're in school, go get a teacher, go get a principal, go find somebody to stand in. Grab a group of your friends and stand in. It doesn't have to just be one person. You can get help. That's the biggest thing is we like you don't have to step in and risk getting hurt if you're afraid of that, but get help. Don't just sit and watch it because you could be the next target next time.
Yeah. Um, when you say get help, you don't mean like how I tell you need to get help. You
No,
mean like
that's
mental
what my
breakdowns,
Olympic mental breakdown
mental
is
breakdown.
is is me seeking help.
All right.
But
Let me
yes,
ask.
you okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying like you know it's okay to tell other people, and you can even say, hey, please don't say it was me that said anything if you're afraid of being retaliation from the bully, but you can't get help. I used to do that. Like when I wasn't being bullied and I saw someone else being bullied, I'd say, hey, you need to stop. Oh, make me. Okay. Then I just go away and I go to the principal's office or I go to a teacher and go, hey, they're making fun of this girl and this has to stop. And they dealt with it.
Um, yeah, I just like I said. I mean, I worry about the guy that I see in the mirror every morning, and I don't want to be. There's the man I want to be, and I hope every morning when I look at that guy in the mirror that he most closely resembles the man that I want to be. So like some things are non-negotiable, and I'm only speaking personally, but um, let me ask you this then. Like you touched on it a little bit. Growing up, like you probably had a rough time, and you're the oldest out of four, right? You have three other siblings.
Yes.
Yeah, and so you didn't have like an older brother like to bail you out or to maybe stand up to people. Like my younger sister is 4 years younger than me, and I stepped in a couple three times for her just to make sure that people left her alone or whatever. Proudly, I should mention, but you didn't have that luxury. What the luxury that you did have is that you had two very loving parents who um obviously did a pretty damn good job preparing you for this world and certainly making you feel like you were supported. And you think of groups like the Zebra Center, and somebody who's maybe like a foster kid or who maybe doesn't have the same level of support. And you're like, how do you manage that, especially like you said with the pride piece? And it's a little bit scary, but I don't want to dwell on that. I want to talk more about you. Like, so I mean, we all have our share of like superficial friends, or like people that, um, how does my hair look? I mean, maybe not so much at our age now, but certainly when we were younger. But like people that worry about little things like that, or how you appear, or what people might think of you. And I have to tell you, just like solely from a personal perspective, the one of the most liberating things ever for me in life was when I came to that determination that the guy in the mirror matters more than what someone else thinks of me. And like we talked about that guy that said that I cheated when he was the one that cheated on, and two people believed him, and I'm not friends with them anymore. And I'm like, I wish they were still my friends, but if they were my friends, they would have asked me and realized that the other fellow was lying or whatever. I mean, I don't want to get into it, but um, point being is that there's a massive degree of comfort that comes from being self-reliant emotionally and not really giving a fuck about what other people think. But what I wanted to ask you is like, a fella's losing his hair and then he goes bald and decides to take it down to the wood. And I mean, that's like a molehill. It doesn't take too much time for a guy to go, well, it is what it is. And the less time I spend worrying about it, the happier I'll be. I mean, that's nothing compared to like, I'm a fucking midget. And like, you've had to deal with that your whole life. And like I said, luckily, you had the support of a great family and you benefited from that because I mean, I know your work ethic and I know the kind of fellow you are. And I mean, that largely speaks to that already. And you already touched on the old man, you know, almost taking a guy out, like, and that's awesome. But what I'm curious about, Jimmy, is like, how do you? I mean, nobody's a midget, right? So, like, I mean, you we hang out all the time, and I watch how you govern yourself, and like, I mean, probably the second time we hung out, I stopped thinking of you as like a little person. Like you're just a dude. You're just a buddy. We just hang out. And it's like if you apply that logic that I indicated earlier of someone who goes, "How does my hair look? Oh, I can't believe that. I wonder what they're thinking of me." If you applied that mentality to you, like you'd be in an insane asylum, like surrounded by like cushions. Because like, and I mean that with the deepest respect.
No, no, I
But
know where you're going with that. Yeah.
like, how did you like? I mean, you handle everything so well and like with aplomb and respectfully, and like, I mean, having said that, I know how much you love everybody when we hang out, recognizing you and going, "Hey, Jimmy, can I get a picture?" But like, I mean, was there a time, like, or an age, or a period in your life where like a flip was switched and you were liberated by the idea of not giving a fuck? Or did you have that confidence from day one because of your support group and your parents and all that? Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I had, there was a switch flipped, um, actually twice. And once, like just after I got beat up, um, one of the boys that beat me up, and they realized how bad it was because what ended up happening is uh, I already had to have a shunt put in for my hydrocephalus, which is fluid buildup on the brain,
Yeah.
but they were going to wait till after exams, till after school was done. We were on our way to like a track meet, and this
Which
one
usually
kid,
happens in the spring when school's about to be
yeah,
over, right? Yeah.
and on the way, I got beat up. I got punched in the head several times. I could barely see straight, and I got rushed to the hospital. So I had to do my exams after the surgery, and I don't know if you've seen what they do for a shunt surgery, and you can't hide it. They shave half your head. They don't even shave all of it. They shave half. And, and then I have this huge horseshoe shaped scar behind my ear with a little pump in it. And so I had to go into exams with, again, easy to make fun of. I have half my head shaved, and a huge, a huge bandage on the side of my head
Yeah, yeah, with a
from,
scar, yeah,
like
from the cut.
like 50 stitches. And shortly after that, like in the summer, one of the boys that were involved in beating me up, he and another friend, like I didn't know Dave at the time. Dave saw me at the park or somewhere, and he goes, "Hey, I'm really sorry I did that. Chris was one of the ones that beat me up." He goes, "I'm really sorry about that. I hope you could forgive me. It was a bullshit move. I hope we could be friends." We were friends throughout high school until he moved. Um, because he apologized, and then he became, him and my buddy Dave became the guy that was like, if they saw people talking shit, they go, "No, you're now talking shit to us. You're not just
Yeah,
talking to him anymore.
yeah,
This is
yeah.
us." And that was one turning point, because, and then that group of friends, I met my friend Kyle, who I've been friends with for over 35 years. Like, actually, he came to Edmonton a couple of weeks ago, and while he was at the
Catalytic Kyle,
hotel,
catalytic Kyle.
yeah, catalytic Kyle. While he was parked in the parking lot, he had his catalytic converter stolen. Um, but the thing is that was one turning point, and something else that
Hang on, hang on.
turned.
I just sorry before you go to the something else. Um, that turning point. Like how old were you? What, like
It would have
14,
been 11. It would have been
11?
11,
Wow.
12.
Um, that was a turning point where it's kind of like the perpetrators of this like crime, which is what it was. Um, like their humanity compelled them, like whether it be how they were raised or just like their acceptance of our shared values, like they had regret for getting jacked up to coming after the little
Yeah,
fella or whatever, right?
yeah,
So that I think maybe you could argue, or maybe you'd agree with me that that restored maybe your faith in humanity, where it's just like, yeah, maybe it was a couple guys that went too far, not people are coming after midgets, or right,
yeah,
like
yeah.
yeah, okay, sorry, go on.
But but then another situation occurred, because at that point, then I started, like, I didn't have many friends before that. They were my friends, and if other people didn't like me, I didn't give a shit. Like, if you want to make fun of me, great. That's a you thing.
Yeah,
I didn't
great,
care.
great, great way to
Like,
put it.
you could make fun of me, and I know you're trying to get a reaction out of me. You're not. Good luck. Um, yeah, yes, I'm a midget. Yes, I'm short. Yes, I can't touch my ass. Like, like whatever, like all the different things, and so they couldn't get a reaction out of me. And then I have my little sister, who's 2 years younger than me, and like, so we are really close. Some of these guys were picking on her and making fun of her because she was my sister. And then, yeah, like she was bullied because she was my sister.
Oh,
I
that's
re-
fucked.
like, again, this, and then I had one guy, like, he was making fun of me, and I didn't react. I didn't react, and then he goes and he says something really nasty about my sister, and then I got angry, dealt with him in a certain way, and then his buddies went, "Oh, you want to pick a fight with my friend?" Three of his buddies stood up, and then half the football team stood up and said, "No, it's between them. If you guys get involved, we get involved." Um, and so again, that's bystanders sitting there and saying, "Yeah, we're not dealing with that shit. If you like,
Yeah,
it's between them. If you three are getting in, we're getting in."
yeah,
And half of them are linebackers.
how it should be,
I w-
how it should be.
and so that was an
Lineman.
yeah, lineman, whatever, like, huge. and it was one of those situations of, then I realized that if there's good people in the bystander group, they
Yeah.
could help the people that are being picked on, because
Yeah.
it's not when you're being bullied, it's very rarely one on one. It's usually 4-on-1 or 3-on-1 or 2-on-1.
Yeah, because frankly, from my experience, my understanding of like the bully or the bully mindset, it's that the most insecure person in the whole piece is actually the bully. And he's usually doing it to impress somebody else or to make other people feel better, to give the impression to other people that he's a better person than he thinks of himself to be. So there's like the most vulnerable and weak in the bullier, bully scenario is the bully, because they feel they need to prove themselves. And the worst way, the last way, the last thing a man can do to prove himself is by picking on somebody more vulnerable than he is. But they're too stupid to understand that. You know.
No, but it's the picking on the weaker so that you feel stronger.
Yeah,
It has
exactly.
nothing.
And
It
and
is
and
because
and
that's
like I
all
said, typically they want an audience, so it's very rare that they'd be alone. And like in an alley, one guy decides to roll you. No, he goes, "Hey, look at me! I'm fucking dominating this fellow." Clowns.
but it's that, and it's I have I can control something. I have power over him.
Yeah,
I could I'm stronger than he is.
yeah,
But
because
yes, so
because all the rest of the time I feel weaker. Like,
so 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 do you have any more questions that you
well,
want
yeah,
to
like
deal with
I
this, or?
guess like I think from what you've told me, like the way that you manage, like the obvious fact that you stand out in the crowd is that you learned early lessons about humanity and that most of us share the same values and um, don't have a problem with anybody and want to see you felt supported, I guess is the best way to put it, right? Like by
Yeah.
people in general. So that helped you. But I mean, like superficially, I mean, like uh like you talk all the time, when you're at work or whatever, and someone goes, "Oh, mommy, mommy," like obviously people look at you. It's like you don't even think about it. Like it was
Uh,
that just all of the things that you talked about, where it's just kind of like again with the baldertree, I'm like, well, it is what it is. There's nothing I can do about it, right? Like I reckon, did you have like a moment like that, or has it just been kind of like that foundation, that moral, that the rock that your family was or your parents were for you, that where you're just like, I'm me and I don't really give a fuck.
that's really what it is. What it really was is I had to realize I like me. I'm okay the way I am. Other people might not understand what this is. They might not think this is normal, but this is normal for me. I am me. There's nothing that you can do or anyone can do that can change who I am. If I let other people judgment of me hold me back, I'm giving them the power. I need to take the power over my own life. I need to control my own destiny. Nobody else will.
Yep.
I I was put here for a reason. Like I truly believe with everything that is in my soul that God put me here for a reason. I was put here as a dwarf for a reason. I have a story. I, I empathize with kids that have been bullied. I can talk to kids and they understand, they get it that I was bullied because like, they could see it. Like, I'm smaller. So obviously people are going to make comments. When I'm walking through a bar or I'm walking through a mall or anywhere, a concert, and I hear people get like, and you've seen it, where people go, "Hey, there's a midget," and I'm like, "Where is that little fucker following me again?" Um, like. like the thing is we need to love ourselves first. Like, you
Yeah.
you love God, you love your family, you love yourself.
Yep.
Those and those are the three priorities in life. And loving yourself is very, very important. And you can't let other people's thoughts of you stop you from loving yourself.
100%.
If you stop loving yourself, get help. That means because you need help. Like if you have no reason to love yourself, that's where you get a lot of these suicides and a lot of stuff like
yep.
that is you don't like who you are. And it's okay to not be okay, but seek help. Um,
Um, so, but there was no switch. I think it sounds more to me like that's just how you were brought up.
I it like it, the thing is what you call a switch, I call a couple years.
Yeah.
It took time. There were times after I was beat up, I was a loner that hung out with one or two guys. I didn't hang out. I didn't, go to school dances. I didn't hang out with people. I was in an outcast group, not really an outcast group. We were a group unto ourselves where we were okay letting the rest of the world live their life. We lived ours.
But
Like,
even within that group, like you had acceptance. So that's a good thing too,
the-
right?
but yeah, but we accepted each other. I like one of what two of my friends at that time. They were 80s 80s hair metal like junkies. They played on their electric guitars all the time. We listened to heavy like the 80s rock, like
Crush,
your
crush, crush,
bunch.
crush you some rat and some poison and
So, Rat, Poison, Bon Jovi,
yeah.
Motley Crue, like all the hair shit,
So
like Guns N' Roses.
so when the guys that tried to roll you made friends with you after, like, did you ditch your hair metal buddies? Like you're like too cool for
No,
school
my
for
hair
them, or
metal buddies are the guys but my hair metal guys one of them was the guy who wanted to be my friend
mm. Well,
after after bullying me.
anyway, to quote you, Jimmy, I like you and I'm okay with who you are.
I like you too, and I'm okay with your family.
Anyway, the um that was somewhat illuminating. Thank you very much, Jimmy. Cheers. Love you, brother.
There's
Like but yeah, I have a lot of admiration and respect for you with regards to um just the kind of dude you are. And I mean, like you're one of the guys I hang out the most with, and we all have that kind of same mentality. And I know that you're looked upon with respect as a peer and stuff. So I think it's great what you're doing, and I hope that you spread that message far and wide on Wednesday, February 26th from 25th from 2 to 3 uh, with the Pink Shirt Day. People need to hear what you got to say, and again, you know, I like you.
You're awesome. You know what? Like Pink Shirt Day is an important thing to everyone, and everyone's been bullied in one way, shape, or form. And the biggest message I have for anyone is love yourself.
Yeah, 100%.
And like,
And that's that. I think that like the line of, I guess, what you like, for lack of a better term, that you want to questioning that you would call our discussion that I had for you is like, when did when did you care more about what the guy in the mirror thought of you than some clown on the street, right? And really that's fundamentally. I mean, to boil it down, that is loving yourself, because it's like, um, I love myself enough that my impression of me means more to me than the impression of some stranger that sees me as a midget walking down the street, or like whoever you are. And again, it boils down to loving yourself. And I like me, and I'm okay with the way I am, just like I like
That
you, Jimmy, and I'm okay with the way you are, even though you're kind of an
if
ass. You're kind of an asshole to me, like pretty much all the time. And I mean, and I
and
and there was the bean stalking incident on Sunday. I got you beanstalked
and
me. Like, let's be honest.
and
So
and to be honest, you're kind of a bit of an asshole too. But everybody needs an asshole, and that's why you're my friend. Everybody needs a
uh,
little bit of an asshole in their life.
I'm looking forward to tuning in on Wednesday the 25th from 2 to 3. Details can be
Yeah,
found on Jimmy's
yeah,
Facebook page, and you can reach out to Jimmy or me
yes.
directly
Or
too.
you can reach out. You can reach out to me at jpwhiteent@gmail.com, or you can message me directly on any of my social media.
Yeah, and I love that I love that you and I are getting involved in our community, like as a thriving podcast, and two involved people like me with the petition signatures, and you
And
with
and
the
and you and you was the godfather of the fraternity of the University of Edmond. Yeah, so I've seen people. Yes, Godfather.
whatever, man. Speaking of which, that was the other thing. Friend of the podcast, Mike Bayrak. He was there Friday too. Did you get a chance to talk to his pop?
Yes, his pop's a great guy.
Yeah, he's a geek too. Like, you can't tell me that Danny is not Mike in like 30 years, right? Like, they look very
Oh,
similar.
100%.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Yeah, he's a good man. It was nice seeing him. I'm glad Mike brought him out. And what's great is that he got to meet all the young guys too, right? Like, I
yeah,
mean, a bunch of fellas that look up to him that are like young enough to be his grandchildren, like look upon him with reverence, and as they should. But pretty cool.
yeah. It was a great night, and again, I talk about my Edmonton family, and you're definitely on the list. We as part of that family, and your kids are absolutely amazing. I think the world of them, and like they're just so respectful and so great. Like
No, they love you.
yeah,
It's not about like whatever, like your family.
no, but
I told you
it's
that before Friday. Like, fuck.
no, no, no. I knew, like I know that, but
Yeah.
where I was kind of getting at is just you know, and just kind of like I go to things like that, and you people watch, and how close your daughter is with your woman is
Andrea,
awesome.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
there with Andrea, and like you could tell there's genuine care on both ends of that conversation, and
Yeah.
it's just so cool to be around. And glad,
Yeah.
I'm glad that you're my friend, and I'm glad that we got to hang out. Like we bust each other's balls on this podcast a lot, but if anyone busted your balls as hard as I do,
Mm-hmm.
they'd have to deal with me.
100%.
And I'm
100%.
pretty
I
sure,
feel the
and I'm
same way.
pretty sure, and I'm pretty sure that if someone fucked with me, um, in a disrespectful way, you would have issues, and then I'd have to protect you. Um,
Yeah, probably. Like, if they got past, if they got to you, that would mean I was dead. Um
yeah, yeah,
uh but
yes.
I one of the things that concerns me a little bit about like this kumbaya episode of of the
The
Bald
Baldwin
Sherman
sort of
podcast,
advice.
um one of the things that concerns me is that maybe some of these comments might be a little bit hollow because, you know, I saw you huddling up with I have two sisters for anybody that doesn't know. And I saw you huddling up with my sisters and, we talk, we hang out pretty much all the time. And you're like, no, they told me they like me better than you. It's like, I'm thinking, I got my parents, my two sisters. So it's you know, spouses aside, it's a 5-person table. When comes the day where they go, yeah, Mooney, sorry, Chris, we just don't have enough chairs.
I don't I don't think that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I don't think that's gonna happen. But but the big thing is they love you, and but they wanted to give they still want to get together for dinner with me sometimes so that I can tell so they can tell me stories that I can bring up on the podcast to embarrass you. Um,
uh, well, you know what, too, though? Like, I got to tell you, like, what, 3 weeks ago, we had my niece, Davney, on with her wonderful podcast or wonderful show, Turntable Rebellion on nr92.com, Wednesdays from 6 to 8. And I like my favorite part of that podcast when she guested was like when the two of you were talking and like you're kind of sharing experiences and you're like like maybe giving her a little bit of guidance. I love that. And I mean, you're the guy going, let's have her on again. Like
yeah,
Big Brother type thing, and especially kids that age, like it's not lost on them, like the people that are stakeholders in their success and that give a shit about them. And again, like I mean, if, to go back to like the parental support aspect of you being the man that you are, like you must have learned from the best because those kids look upon you as a guy, that they can rely on, right? Just like you did your parents.
the thing is like dealing with the Dabney situation is I
Davney.
didn't go Davney, sorry. I didn't go to radio school, but I spent 12 years in the industry. And a lot of the stuff that I learned how my dad taught me to learn is ask questions, do it. Like if it takes you 6 hours to do a video, because you've never done one before, put the time in.
Yeah,
Everything,
approach problems with humility,
but
right? I want to learn.
every, yeah, but every job there is, anything there is that you actually want to do, you have to do one thing, just one thing. Put the time in.
Hmm.
You know, you're gonna struggle. Push through. Like I loved working in radio. It like like we talked about it on the podcast. Like most days didn't feel like work. Like I'd
Yep.
stayed because I was editing video after the show. I do the show for 5 hours, get to the studio. It's like I get there at 6 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes didn't, there was a couple of times I left the studio, like the building after people that showed up at 8 in the morning. And I was leaving at 3 or 4 because I had like
No, I know.
I had a lot of work to do, but it's needed to be done because it was important to me and
And
it's
I
important
should
to the
mention
brand.
to you that, and like to our listeners that like I never asked you. You volunteered this to me, but like when you told me how much they were paying you, and I looked at all the time that you put in, I was like, like literally my mind exploded. I mean, like Graf busts her ass like every day at work, and she goes in. She's on salary. She doesn't get overtime, and
I didn't either.
some days she comes home at 6 o'clock because she had like um so many new beds come up or whatever, and then there's some weekends where she goes into work, you know, like voluntarily, you know, to catch up or whatever, and they don't they don't give her the support that she needs because she's so fucking efficient and she busts her ass. And it's like, and she made double. She makes like more than double what you made back in the day, like when you were at the radio. Like for the amount that you cared and the effort that you put in and the hours that you put into that job, it literally fucking blows my mind. Like what you were getting paid, frankly. Like
Like, like, and I'll be flat out honest on this one. Um, I remember we did a bit on the radio station way back in the day. Actually, it was before. Remember when we had Nutley as premier,
yep,
and they
yep,
raised and they raised over a span of a couple years, they raised the minimum wage up to $15 an hour. Like
yep.
from I think it was what 13. Um, when they finally raised it to $15 an hour, and Locke on air was calling me minimum wage Jimmy, and it was just
Jesus.
after, and it was just after I signed my my contract for the year, and and my boss came in and goes, he's not minimum wage. You can't do that. You're making us look bad. But it started out, he was calling me $9 an hour, Jimmy, because at one point I was there part time and I was basically $9 an hour. But
I'd be like,
but
I'd be doing the mob thing, Jimmy $9. Hey, you got to meet my
but
buddy over here, Jimmy $9.
so so they so they raised the minimum wage to $15 an hour. And and then my boss came in and was yelling at Locke for saying that I was minimum wage. And then she did the math and she goes, "Oh shit, we pay him less than that."
Yeah, no
So
shit.
so 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 within 2 weeks, I just send out fill out a difference. They had to give me a raise to make me at least minimum wage
Oh
for
yeah,
8 hours a week
even though
or
Locke was
8 hours a
busting your
day.
balls, he actually fucking helped you out. But
Yeah.
I
Oh yeah.
mean,
But
and
he
that, and you know
was
what too is like, you know what's funny about that is they had to restructure it to pay you more because they were paying you minimum wage. Is that they probably did it with the 9 to 5 construct with an hour off for lunch bullshit, and not even realizing that you fucking spent probably what minimum an hour a night, like editing video and all that shit for your online content.
it kind of depended. Like, so if we had big
Like what's the minimum?
videos,
Like the average,
so so on average per day, our
like
show was
5 out of 7 days.
our show was scheduled from basically 6 till 10.
Yeah,
On most days, I wouldn't leave before 1.
yeah,
But then I'd go home after working on video. I'd go home and work on content. The
yeah. I know.
same as we do for our podcast, where you're pulling articles, where you're coming up with stuff to talk about. I'd have to do that every day. And
Yeah,
so then I'd spend another hour and a bit on content. So under the contract, I was being paid 8 hours a day, but our show only runs 5. So I was working 8+ hours a day. Plus, we didn't get paid extra for if we were introducing concerts or an MC somewhere,
yeah.
unless it was a paid thing for the radio station that they gave us money. Like there's a lot of gray area with that one. But the thing is I loved the job. I lived for the video
I know.
content.
I know.
I like
Well, anybody that
like
knows you
I had
knows how much you love the job, and frankly, that's that's huge anyway. Like that's its own reward. And most people, like particularly like even people that hate their jobs right now, unless they're like particularly leveraged, Like if you told them you got to take a 10 grand a year or 20 grand a year haircut, but you're going to wake up every day excited to go to work, would probably fucking subscribe to that bargain, right?
Yeah.
But but
It,
but your gig, uh to me at least, I knowing how much you liked it, um, like almost amounts to usury, but whatever.
not usatory.
Usury. Look it up. It's and that's just
Yeah.
my perspective.
But you know what? It was I did what I had to do. I put in the
And
extra
you
effort.
fucking, and by the way, you did what you had to do and you did it well. And by the way,
But
you do it well here too. And I know it's just the two of us or whatever, but um, I mean, I seen your edited videos after we do our thing, and you do a great job. And those are, those are not easily acquired skills, but you possess them in spades. So since we're doing the Kumbaya episode, thank you for
yeah,
your
this
production
is
quality,
this
Jimmy.
and thank you for being the true and the unwavering talent on the show. Um,
I appreciate that. A lot of people have said that to me, but it means a lot coming from you. Like
yeah, but a lot of those people that say that is you talking to yourself in the mirror. But
or or people who've been enriched by me. I've given them money into
yes, but but you know what? I just want to end like unless you want to go further. We've
I
done this.
Jimmy,
Is there anything?
I really feel like it's time for me to do a Toto 4 album review. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
You know what?
We've
If
had that in my
I'll,
pocket.
I'll,
Uh, We've
I'll
had that in
okay,
our pocket.
okay, but you know
I
what?
would like
Make
to
it
do it, but I'm not going to do it this episode.
okay. But
Promise you, I'm
no,
not.
you know what?
No, no,
No,
no.
no, you know what? I will give you
I'm
five
just fucking.
minutes.
No, I'm just
I will
fucking.
give you
No,
5 minutes.
I'm fucking with you.
It's
I'm
either
not
do it
doing it.
now or never do it again. Like you
Oh
have
no.
five
Oh
minutes
fuck.
now. You have
Fuck
five
you.
minutes.
Fuck
You
you.
have
No, no.
5 minutes. We're not doing a half an hour on Toto.
Uh,
Um,
of course we're not. We're gonna do the time that it deserves.
five
The
minutes.
Total 4 is such an important album that you don't want to put time to it. So we're not gonna do this. I'm just saying, not for nothing. I was bugging you. We're not gonna do it today.
Okay,
We're gonna maybe we'll do a total episode or whatever. Doesn't matter.
the next episode you will see on this YouTube channel will be the Balls podcast uh, with the Toto album review. It will be
Total
produced by
4
me, Toto 4. So it'll be just the Balls and the short will edit and
produced by
produce
produced by the short.
the shorts. Okay, this I'm trying to remember like before we go. Uh, we came up with the name on the boat, didn't we?
What's that? Which
We
name?
came up with the name for the Bald and Short of It podcast. We came up with that
Oh,
hanging out on your
that
boat.
was all you. That was all you. Yeah, we were on the boat and we're like, we really ought to do a podcast because yeah, it's not a coincidence we were on the boat. We just sit there, drink beer, and talk all the time. But
And
that's pretty
then
much
you brought but you brought it up as, you know, this would be a good podcast.
yeah, like just us talking.
And yeah, so I just want to say one thing before we go because we had a couple of very important deaths over this week. I just kind of
Oh
want to touch
yeah,
on it.
yeah. I'm glad you brought that up.
Robert Duvall and James Vanderbeek. James Vanderbeek was known for Dawson Creek and a couple of other like uh, movies and stuff like that, but he wasn't as big as Robert Duvall. Um, like he passed away at the at
95.
at 95. Because I was the funny thing about that is I was looking it up and he was in his late 50s when he did Days of Thunder with Tom Cruise.
Yep.
And he was in one of the Godfather movies. Was he in more than one, or was he in just
He was in 1 and 2.
like, and he's had so many
Tom
big
Hagen.
movies.
Yep.
What's that?
Tom Hagen. He was also in To Kill a Mockingbird. He was Boo Radley. And
No, he wasn't.
yeah, the black and white with what's his name? What's the guy?
Yeah, I know the,
George, not George.
oh, he was Boo Radley. Holy crap.
Was that George
Gregory Peck.
Rob, Gregory
Gregory
Peck?
Peck.
I got the G right. He was in that. He was in
I didn't
he
even
was
know
in
he was in that.
Apocalypse Now. And you know what's crazy? Like Jimmy, I think that maybe like the not the greatest. I mean, we're not his family. We don't know what a great guy he was personally, but as an actor, the the greatest tribute to a fella would be like I didn't know that was Robert Duvall, but I remembered the character. You know, like
Yeah,
where
I knew I, I
he
knew I
became
knew
the
who
guy.
Boo Radley was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you didn't know it was Robert Duvall because it's
Not
like
even no.
that's like is that not like the pinnacle for an actor? It's like I don't even know who the guy is. I just know the character. Like how you can
But
become that person to a point where people don't even recognize you as an individual. Like uh like as far as like the pantheon of like 20th century actors, Robert Duvall, if you looked at the list of all his roles, you'd be amazed. But there's a movie he did with Michael Caine and Haley Osment called Secondhand Lions. I think it was like
yeah.
2003 or something. And he was like a old, tough as nails, like all of our mentors, Jimmy. You know, like man's man, and he fucking nailed that. And it's like toughest guy in the room, not because he swung
Oh,
dick, but because
that's the movie he did with Michael Caine, where where they were in that bar, and
yeah,
those punks came in and were trying
yeah,
to
yeah, 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 yeah.
grab his, and then he fought like six of these young guys
Yeah.
as an
But like
old
Days
man.
of
Yeah.
Thunder, you're there isn't a movie that he was in that he didn't touch, like and then you go like I forgot he was in that. Yeah, because you didn't know Tom Hagen as Robert Duvall. Tom Hagen is like a person in your mind because Robert Duvall created him, and you didn't even recognize Robert Duvall. Same
But
with Boo
but the thing
Radley.
but the thing is though is when he was in To Kill a Mockingbird, he was in his early 30s, and
I'd say younger than that, probably early 20s. Oh, he's 95 though, Fairfax.
yeah, like the movie was done in 67 and he was born in 31.
So 36.
No, 62. He was 62 and he was born in 31.
So he
So
was 30. He was 31.
he was in his early
31.
30s.
He was
Yeah.
31. Anyway, Robert Duvall. Cheers.
Yeah. Cheers.
No, like
Like he was in so much stuff. And there was some of these
so
older
much good stuff.
actors,
Good stuff. You know,
but there
like
was a
there's
lot of
some
these
actors
older.
that just know which roles to pick.
James Caan, another one
Yeah,
that you
yeah, yeah.
you know from so many different things. Like he
Oh,
passed
by
away
the
a few
way,
years ago.
not for nothing, but Graf and I watched The Rip on Netflix with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck
How was
last
it?
night. It was really good. Like it was a
I've
good
been
movie.
meaning to watch it.
Yeah, I you know what? Put the time in. And I like I didn't really you know what? It could have happened that I never saw it ever, but last night we just finished we just finished a mini series. It was Heaven in Belfast. What is it? On Netflix, which is also really good, by the way. How to Get to Heaven from Belfast. Um,
Oh wow.
yeah, Graf and I watched that. We just finished it. We had like, and then we had some time, and she goes, "Hey, we should watch The Rip. I really wanted to see that." And that's the Ben Affleck. Both things are on Netflix.
And
But
and and you know what? Anything that has like Matt Damon and Affleck, um,
Affleck.
Affleck, um, is is usually good, and they're friends, so they act very well together.
It sounds like I think from Goodwill Hunting or something they grew up together, or tried to get into the business together, or at least
Yeah,
geographically.
they like,
Yeah,
and they've been friends forever. But you know what? This has been a great podcast, and like we talked about everything, and it was a little
we
bit of an
did.
I love you. It was a little bit of an I love you, man podcast. Um,
I don't know. Like we probably owe the universe like 5 more of these for all the coming after each other that we do.
for for
But
all the
but speaking personally, one's enough.
yeah, I'm good.
I like you
I
better
I
at your worst.
I I like you better when I don't like you. Um, But you know what? This was the Bald and Short of It podcast. I am James P. White. That is Chris Mooney. We will see you next time, and which will be episode number. Is it going to be 35?
It will be.
35 is our next one.
And
This
if you
one's
don't mind me
34.
interjecting, I like you. I care about who you are, Jimmy.
And Mooney, I I like you, and I like your family better than I do you. Um.
Makes sense. That tracks.
So so this was the Bald and Short of It podcast. We'll see you next time.
Love you, brother.